What's up everyone, Soldier First Class here, and today's mission, we have a video that I have wanted to do for a while now because I got back from PAX East this Monday and I had the time of my life. And I can't stress that enough. Like, when you talk about trips that you want to take, or if you want to go out of the country, you tend to think, this is going to be the greatest experience that I've ever had because it's something new, it's something you've always wanted to do, and when you get there, you have a great time. This time might have actually been the greatest weekend of my life. I went to PAX East on a last minute flight. Got my hotel and my PAX East tickets very last minute. And this trip almost didn't happen. And I'm going to be showing like pictures and stuff throughout this video that I took or that I had sent to me or that I took with fans. I haven't made this video because obviously when I got back, we had the demo come out. The remake news was flying off the radar. And I've been kind of sick, so I haven't really wanted to be on camera. But I wanted to get this video done because I had the time of my life. So I'm going to show like a couple clips here and there of my vlogs and stuff like that as well. And I cannot stress enough how awesome the Square Enix crew were and how welcoming and friendly and just great that they were when I got there. So let's get right into it. So I want to give a special shout out to all the soldiers that came up to me at PAX East and took pictures with me. I'll be putting those on the video. There's one thing that I thought was like the greatest thing ever. And that's that when I went to PAX East, I had so many people there recognize me and want to take pictures. And I loved it. I loved doing it. Not because of like the fame aspect of it, but I loved it because it felt like I had made such a positive impact on the community. You know, especially like the Final Fantasy community. And when I go to like these places and, you know, I'd never been to a con before. So to go there and be so welcomed and treated like family and, you know, like I meant something to you guys, just it felt like one of the best feelings in the world. And I think another really cool thing was like what I got to do while I was there. So I walked around the convention a little bit, but when I first got to the show, I ran and got my demo ticket, and that ended up working perfectly with the autograph signing tickets because one was like at noon. But when I first got there and got my ticket, I had got a message from John, Eric Bentley, wanting to know where I was at. So I met him at the front of the Square Enix booth, and before I had even gotten a chance to like say hi, John like runs up to me and gives me like this giant bear hug, and I thought he was gonna break me in half. And by the way, John is huge. I'm 6 foot tall, and John made me look small. Like, big man, huge heart. Absolutely love John Eric Bentley. He's just insanely nice. You know, he pulled me to the side, we talked, we chatted it up, you know, he gave me some life advice, and, you know, we talked about what it's like to be content creators and, you know, public figures and stuff like that, and he gave me some really good advice, and obviously, for the reason of confidentiality, I won't say any of that stuff because, you know, that was between me and John, but I gotta say, absolutely love this voice cast. They were so welcoming. You know, I had Brianna White run up and give me a hug when she saw me. Neil Pabone was great. The senior marketing manager of Square Enix. Very welcoming staff. I think what was really weird though was like, so when you got up to the autograph signing, there was like a tape barrier kind of thing that they would open up, you'd walk through, you'd get your autographs. When I walked up, there was a guy named Jarek. He works for Neil at Square Enix, and he like stopped me and he's like, "Oh, no soldiers allowed." And it didn't click in my head that he was like specifically addressing me as soldier. So I was like, "What?" You know? And he's like, "Oh, hey, you know, we know all about you." And I was like, "What?" You know? And then we got through. He let me through the barrier, you know, and the girl that was standing there taking the tickets, she was like, "Oh, hey, soldier." And I'm like, "Hi?" And she's like, "Oh, we know all about you. We watch your content and stuff." And I was like, like the thought that somebody at Square Enix is watching my stuff was just like the greatest thing ever, you know? And so I walk up to the autograph table, and there's Gideon Emery, and I'm like fanboying because I loved him as Balthier in 12. And, John was there, and it was like Gideon, Erica, Bree, John, and then Britt Barron. And I was like, thank you for playing Balthier. I bet that was a lot of fun. Me and Gideon chatted it up a little bit over that. We got some pictures. And then I moved on to Erica. I loved her in Persona 5. She was great as Futaba. I even mentioned that to her, and she did like a little line for me, and even used my username. Then I got to Brianna White. Loved chatting with her, joked with her a little bit. And then it got to John, and John like reached over the table and like gave me another hug and was like, "What's up, soldier?" And stuff like that. And it was so much fun. I could not stress how much fun that trip was. And then I got to Britt Barron, and she was like talking to John, and John's like telling the whole voice cast about my channel and like really, really boosting me up, and Britt was like talking about Twitch because John had mentioned to her that I was on Twitch now. And she's like, "Oh, my boyfriend thought about doing Twitch." And I was like, "Well, if you ever need any help, have John hit me up and I'll get you set up." So it was great to really chat with them and have a lot of fun with the voice cast, because they are just, they're just like us. They're just people, and I had a blast with those guys. And I can't stress enough how awesome Neil is. He's just such a great guy. Square Enix has got a really good marketing manager on their hands. He's funny. He's even funnier in person, and most of my interactions with him have been on Twitter, and dude had me laughing like the whole time. So he thanked me for coming out. The whole cast thanked me for coming out. That I was able to make it last minute, because I had told them before the show that I wasn't going to be able to make it. So when I rapidly got the tickets and everything, they were pretty happy that I showed up. And to have people that are working on a game that I've been anticipating for the better part of 5 years excited to have you at the show, that was one, not only like the pictures I took with everybody, but like that was one of the greatest feelings. When I started this channel last January, these are the goals that I had. I wanted to do things like this, go to these shows, meet these guys. I feel like Square Enix staff, all the voice cast, all of Neil's team, they all made me feel like family. And I can't stress enough, like, how much of an impact that had on my life and what it did to my confidence, because it felt like an entire studio worth of people is in my corner. And not that they're endorsing me, obviously, because they're not. But it just, the feeling you get when people appreciate your work, and all the sleepless nights that I've had, all the research, all the videos, everything that you guys have been here for, and to go to one single event and have all of that feel validated was just an experience that I cannot put into words. So I want to thank, those guys. I want to thank Neil and John, Bree, Erica, Gideon, Britt, and Jarek, and all of the people from Square Enix that made this trip well worth the money, well worth the last minute, flights and everything else, and the lack of sleep, because I didn't get to my hotel room till like 2 a.m, and I had to be at the show at 8 to get in the doors and be ready to go and get my demo tickets and everything. And I had a blast playing the demo. I got to play the demo twice. It was so much fun. Obviously, my demo review's a little moot now because we got the demo literally the day I got back. So, it's kind of funny. I had this whole, this video planned on the demo. And, I know Neil couldn't have told me anything. Like, obviously, he can't reveal that information. But I just thought it was funny that I had played the demo. I was so excited to play the demo. And then literally the next day, the demo comes out. And I was on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever." The demo finally came out. And Neil knew that I was going to do a demo review because I told him. And he gets on Twitter, and he's like, "Well, I hope this was worth it." And I was like, so much so was it worth it. So it's great that even though I was just another random dude at the show, they made me feel like an old friend that they had missed for years. So I really, really cannot stress enough how special this trip was. And my buddy Ryosuke, David, however you want to be called, thanks for letting me use that Buster Sword, by the way, on the Hardy Daytona, because that was incredibly fun. Thanks for hanging out with me and all that stuff in the airport. I loved it. This trip was one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life, and I know I've said that 100 times already in this video, but I fanboyed so hard when I met John and Bree and all the other cast, and I had to come off as a crazy person at least once on this trip, and this has instilled a new confidence in me that I never thought I would have. So, on that note, that's another reason why I want to thank all those guys and all you fans out there that met me and hung out with me. Johnny, Bear Boy, as you may know him on YouTube. I sat at dinner with him for like 4 hours, and him and his friends, and that was a blast too. Just chatting video games, chatting the remake, and but anyway, guys, also, I bought a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, you can see the new stuff in the background, and I had to get another table for the stuff in the background now. But, I just want to say thank you to the Square Enix staff for making this trip one of the best things ever. And to all you fans out there for making this one of the best things ever. So, on that note, thank you for watching. And don't forget to Omni-slash that like button. Let me know in the comments section below. I don't know. Subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to join the ranks of Soldier today. And for all the latest Final Fantasy VII, whatever, I'm Soldier First Class, and I'm on to the next mission. Later, guys.